What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Distraction Garage. This is my all-wheel drive EG hatchback that's sitting right to the side of me. Now, this all-wheel drive EG hatchback has been through a lot of changes throughout the year since I've owned it for over 8 years. Now, the car used to be a front-wheel drive street car that I competed with in the 1050 index classes on the drag strip. Now, that was an amazing time. Throughout that time frame, this was before my YouTube channel, I blew a transmission in the old B-Series setup and decided to go all-wheel drive. And that's when I decided, let me share this process and all of these steps with you guys. So with that being said, this is gonna be build series 3 of the all-wheel drive EG hatchback. For those that have been with the channel, you guys know that I've gone through not 1, but 2 stock blocks that have completely exploded. And we are finally going to do something about that. So with this build series, we are going to focus on making sure that the car can handle the amount of power that we are looking to push and that I am trying to get out of this car. I want to be able to run 9s. I want to have a 9-second streetable car. And with that being said, I reached out to Cylinder Support System, and come to find out, they have a full race engine program. They will pretty much build you a complete race engine from top to bottom, at least the short block portion of it, which is where I had most of my failures. Actually, all of my failures were due to the stock internals. The engine that's sitting back behind me, that is the Cylinder Support System race engine level 2.5, which is capable of handling up to 800 or more horsepower, depending on your current setup. And I'm looking to get to that 800 or so mark. Now, I currently am running an AEM 400 fuel pump, external fuel pump, and a Precision 6262 ball bearing Gen 1 turbo. The Gen 1 turbo is roughly about 700 horsepower, give or take, based on the manufacturer's spec. And with one fuel pump, I might need to get 2 if I ever want to hit that 800 mark. But for now, my goal is to make 650 once again on this car and hopefully run 9s. One of the things that we're upgrading on this car is the oil pump. This is a high flow oil pump made by 4-piston. Now, this is an OEM RSX Type S oil pump, but they do some things on the insides to make sure that it can flow a lot better. And they also have the cutout ready to go for a Z3 block. This also comes with the guide and the baffle here for a lot of you guys that are looking to do the, let's say for example, K24 with a K20 head, or if you're doing a turbo build, this is a very important piece. That way you get enough oiling into your motor to make sure that it can make the amount of power that you need it. Now, this thing is rated at about 11,000 RPM, and that's mostly for a lot of the old motor builds and things like that. We're turbo, so I might possibly hit about 9, maybe max of 10, but we'll see how the tuner and the tuning goes at that point. So this is gonna be the first thing that we're gonna install, and let's get to that. All right, guys, so the head is officially on, and everything looks fine. Everything bolted up just nice. I used a couple of websites, and I'll post them in the description below of where I got all my torque specs, and also the order of which to do tightening the bolts and everything else. The next step is to continue on and do a valve adjustment. Once that valve adjustment is done, then we can essentially finish the rest of the process, putting the timing chain and everything else on. I want to make sure the valves are adjusted properly, and then we can move on to the next set of steps. So we're gonna keep going. It's getting a little late. I'm gonna go ahead and take a shower, go to bed, and then I'll see you guys now. All right, so it's the next day, and I went ahead and got the cams set up at TDC, just like the block as well. And now it's time to move on to this side of the setup, and let's get the timing chain and all the other fun stuff on this side all installed. So let's get to that. All right guys, so now we've done the valve adjustment. As you guys saw earlier, I got the timing chain and everything on. I was having some issues locating some of the bolts, so you might see me fumbling a little bit, but I was able to find all the bolts that I needed. I had everything in these bags here. As you can see, the bags are kind of scattered everywhere around the garage. The timing chain cover was black before. What I ended up doing is I scuffed it all up off camera and working on waiting for it to dry. So let me walk up outside in the backyard, which is where it is, and see how this is drying. But yeah, it looks like it is dry enough. Let's go ahead and take this back to, oh, there you go. That you guys see it a lot better now. But it is like a silver. So that's a little bit better looking than the black. This is the new color of the timing chain cover, which is a silver, same color that I painted the transmission. So this is, I think, the next thing that I got to put on here. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else, but I think this is it. Just got to put Honda Bond on the back of this and get this all ready to be mounted like so on there, all nice. And then we should be good to go. Another addition that I'm gonna be making to the car is I am going to be adding a vent to the hood. And this is something that I got from Eric Catil. He does a lot of road racing at Grid Life. And he uses a GT500 hood extractor. And I messaged him and he was like, hey, just buy this. It's very cheap on eBay. I think it was like maybe 150 bucks, something like that. But this will help me with some of my cooling issues that I've been having. And it's kind of gonna go somewhere around there, maybe a little bit lower, to keep the intake air temps and get all of that excess heat from the radiator out, and any heat that's inside of the engine bay that needs to find a way to vent out. But we shall see how that goes, one step at a time. So most likely next episode we will get to figuring out how to cut that out, mock it up, and make it fit as if it were factory. So let's keep moving. I'm gonna keep going on this, hopefully have the complete engine reassembly all done and ready to go. So let's get to it. All right guys, so we got the head and the whole assembly done. I went ahead and had to make some modifications to fit the steel oil pan on there. You had to cut a little bit off of one of the corners of the blocks baffle, but that is all done. I did do that off camera. As you guys can see, I had my glasses on, so this is clearly a new day. Got everything done on this side. Engine is essentially ready to go into the car. There are a couple things that I have here listed on the windshield that need to get done. One of those things is cutting the vent in the hood. That's going to be in the next video. Doing a couple other things, emptying out the fuel cell, installing the clutch, installing the transmission, installing the engine and transmission, and then go through and do the oil return line into the oil pan. So that needs to get done as well. And then the list is probably going to keep growing as I start getting these things done. Then I'll start adding some more things to this list. But at least we can take this one off, which is assembling the long block. That's done. And yeah, that was pretty fun process. I'm really excited on getting this motor in the car and hopefully seeing how much power it makes. But until then, see you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit that notification icon in order to get notified. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Distraction Garage, which is right there. And make sure you guys follow all these amazing companies, Cylinder Support System, of course K-Tuned, Vibrant Performance, which is over there, Hub City Performance, which has been incredible during the whole process for this. A big shout out to my friends over there. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next time, and I'm out. I just had one of the scariest moments of my life. I dropped one of the 10mm bolts into the block. I flipped it, shook it, couldn't find a way. I thought I was gonna have to take the whole motor apart. Thankfully, I went to start disassembling the engine and I took this one bolt off and I heard it drop. It fell somewhere in here and I managed to find it underneath the car. So thank God that didn't have to happen and I didn't have to go through the whole process of starting all over again just to find this one little bolt. This little guy right here, this guy right there. Oh, that really sucks. That one right there. Let me see if it'll focus on this right here, because this is what I want to focus on. But this little guy right here, and I found him. So if you ever install a blocks baffle, make sure you guys are very careful with these. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm actually going to attempt to put some bags underneath the holes. That way that doesn't happen again. So let's get back to it again. Oh crap, that was a pretty shitty moment.